Hi guys, I'm Mrs. Merighi. I'm sorry I couldn't be here tonight. I am a volleyball coach over at the high school. We have our first game tonight, so I had to be there to coach my team. First off, thank you for being here. Learning and talking to your kids' teachers really makes such a big difference. I really hope that you feel like you can contact me whenever you have any questions. The easiest way to contact me is through my school email. I'll have it written on the board, and it was also back in the syllabus that hopefully you all signed by now. So if your child needs any extra help in art, please make sure they come talk to me. After school, I'm not available because I'm coaching, but I am available before school. I'm always here by 7:30, and I'm happy to be here earlier than that. Once Falcon time gets going, my Falcon time is always open for kids to work as well. Please get your kids to talk to me if they fall behind. I don't take off points for projects being late because I understand that some people work slower than others. So as long as they turn it in before the end of the quarter, they can still get full points. You might see it get put into the grade book as a 0. That's more of just a reminder for them to get it in and not forget about it. As soon as it gets turned in, that grade will go back up. Now this year I do have a new way of grading. It aligns with the language arts team. It's more of that standard-based grading. Hopefully you saw that on the syllabus. I do have some handouts for you that go into it in details, and I'm going to explain how this all works now.
So here's how the grading conversion scale works. You can find copies of these in my room. So as you see at the top, all assignments have rubrics with categories from 1 to 4. 0 just means that they did not attempt it at all. I usually don't put those on my rubrics, but it is possible to earn it. However, pretty rare. So how these work, you can't think of them as a 4 out of 4. You got to think of these as the classic 4 is kind of your A, 3 is kind of a B, 2 C, 1 D, 0, that's going to be your Fs. So earning a 2 on a 4-point scale does not equal 2 out of 4 or 50%. A 2 would actually equal a C or C minus. So you got to kind of change your thinking of this a bit. So that's why I wanted to show you this paper. If we go down a bit, you can see this is my conversion scale. So what I'll do is for every category, whatever they earn, 4s, 3s, 2s, 1s, I will average them. And their average would go here in the center column. So I compare their average, and then I figure out how many points out of 20. This is what goes into the grade book. So if they got an average of 3s, so 3 to 3.4, that means they'll get a 16 out of 20 in the grade book. That's an 80% or B minus. So this is just a way to show you how my scores get converted. This method is called the Marzano Method. I'll show you a full example on the back, but it's a very common method that a lot of teachers use when they use the standards-based grading. Here's a full example. So many of my rubrics look like this. I have a bit more categories. So they could earn a 4 in craftsmanship, joining of pieces, creativity, reflection. This is a basic rubric from ceramics. So let's say a student earned a 4, 3, 3, 3. What I would do for grading, so you can see the average is a 3.25. So if we look back to that scale, 3.25 puts it as a 17 out of 20 or a B. So you see 17 out of 20. And on all my rubrics, I'm going to be pushing myself really hard this year to always include little notes. What did the student do well? What do they need to work on? I hope this really helps you to understand my grading method. I think this will really help kids to understand what are they understanding in art a lot better. Their grade should really represent what they know, not just can they follow directions well and fill out a piece of paper.
Another new thing I'm doing this year is since my regular project grades are all based on skill, I want kids to be able to know exactly if they got the skill or if they didn't. It's not behavior-based. I do have a second grade that will happen for every project as well. That is the studio habits of mine. The studio habits are things that all artists gotta do in order to really push ourselves to become better. These traits are really key to becoming a good artist. So for each project, not only will I grade them on their skills that they learned, but there will be a separate grade that goes in the grade book called Studio Habits. For that, I'll be picking out a couple of studio habits to grade on for that specific project. Kids will know about these as they're doing the projects, they'll know what to expect. I did include another handout that goes over all of the studio habits and how I will be grading them. Just know that they won't be graded on every category for every project. That would be insane. There'll be a couple of them. Like for instance, most of the time there'll probably be something about engage and persist. So that's getting kids to really work past their struggles and be able to keep going even when they have a hard time or things don't work. Sometimes I might grade on observe, because I want them to see the details. Sometimes it might be on reflections. We're working on being better about reflecting what we've done. It depends on the project, but that will be a separate grade for each project that you'll see in the grade book. Another new thing that I'm doing this year is I'm starting a digital portfolio for my kids. I want them to be able to really see their growth, because so many times we do a project, it goes home, or they throw it away, they forget about it, and they move on to the next one. This way, kids have digital record of what did I do a couple weeks ago, a month ago? How is that different than what I'm doing now? Look at how much I've grown. To do this, we're using an app called Seesaw, which hopefully is really getting going this week. If you haven't gotten it yet, there will be a parent email coming that explains all of it. How Seesaw works is kids each have a profile and they could access just their class. It kind of looks a lot like an Instagram page. So kids can post pictures or videos or documents of what they've been doing, and they write a little caption for it, and then I and they can comment on each other's work. We can work on critiques that way. We can talk about digital citizenship and how you should and shouldn't talk to other people online. The great thing is, since it's just our class that can access it, I can really control the environment and make sure they're saying the things that they should. What's really great with Seesaw is parents can access and look at their kids' portfolios as well. So you can comment on your child's work, leave them a little note saying, hey, I love the way that you drew that tree, or keep up the good work, I'm so proud of you. The kids are gonna love seeing that, and that'll be a great thing that will happen throughout the semester. Again, if I haven't sent an email out about that yet, you'll be getting it very soon. One thing I wanted to mention is, you've probably noticed by now, there is a $5 fee for my art classes. The only exception to that is 6th graders. You do not have a fee because your class is half the length. But my 7th and 8th graders, there's a $5 fee. This fee helps pay for extra supplies. I get a very small budget from the school to buy supplies for all of my classes. This $5 per kid really helps me buy lots of different materials so kids can be exposed to all different types of art. It really makes this classroom so much better having that extra bit of money to buy new supplies. The sooner you can pay it, the better, because I wait in the fall to see how much money comes in to decide what can I buy for the class. What sort of cool projects can we do based on that money? Now, if this is too much of a hardship for your family, maybe you're going through some rough times, please talk to the counselors and let them know. I don't want this fee to prevent any kid from taking my class. Please talk to counselors if this is not a possibility for you. Hopefully you're here with your kids tonight and maybe they pointed out their artwork that's out in the hallway, or if you're seeing this, you can show your parents your projects that you're working on right now. It's still the beginning of the year, so we don't have too much going, but the stuff that they're working on is so cool, and I really hope you get to see the stuff your kids do. Keeping that in mind, we will have 2 art shows again this year, one at the end of January and one in June, so the end of both semesters. The art shows are a great place for kids to really show off what they've done, and they could possibly earn some prizes or that recognition for all their hard work in this class. I really hope you can be there for it. If you have any questions, as I said, please email me. I check my email all the time, and it's the easiest and fastest way to get a hold of me. My door is always open. I want to work with you to make sure your kid is successful in my class. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Take a look around if you're still in my room, and I'll see you later.